Mr. McFarlane?
Yo.
This is Matthew Weiss.
Hey, Matthew, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
Good.
I'm here to get on with that interview, you mind?
No, sir. Let me just switch phones here real quick.
Okie doke. I think I'll do the same.
Oh, come on now. That doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. You'll have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. Okay, do you mind if I tape this?
No, that's fine.
Okie doke. Alright, here we go. First off, just briefly describe the progression of your career.
Hang on a second. Let me see if I get my wife to click off the other end here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Sorry. I forgot.
It's okay.
Okay.
Great, just...
We're ready to go.
Alright, all set. Just kind of briefly describe the progression of your career from, say, starting out artist to your status now.
Let's see, I started collecting late at about 17, so I was getting into comics and stuff kind of came a little bit later to me than it did probably to most people.
Mm-hmm.
So probably once I got in, I was probably no different than anybody else. Actually, I broke in pretty late. I think I was, I must have been about 23 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The book came out probably just for my 24th birthday, so...
Which was?
Which would have been like around, I think the first book came out like around February of 84.
What was that, Coyote number 11?
Yeah, Coyote 11 and by circumstance, because I did a couple of things, but then they kind of seemed to come out at the same time. I ended up doing some stuff on Infinity, and so one they held off printing, and the other one they didn't, so they both kind of came out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like I was doing like 2 books there for a while.
Was that pretty exciting for you to see your first stuff in print?
Yeah, actually, I think they sent me a box of about 25, and I mean, I ran up and down the neighborhood handing them out. Look at. Yeah, this is, I mean, now, you know, I mean, I sell 1 million copies, and it's,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even get a copy for myself, you know.
Oh, wow.
Like anything else, it's you know, the novelty of it wears off.
Mm-hmm, I'd imagine.
You know, the biggest thrill actually is getting into the business, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
It was so hard to get into it that it
Yeah.
took a while.
How did you get noticed?
Oh, like anybody else, just sent my samples off.
Constant,
Hundreds and hundreds, so they finally
mm-hmm.
couldn't take it anymore and just gave me a job. Told me to stop sending the samples off.
Uh-huh.
Send us in one, we'll give you a job, you only got to send off one.
Uh-huh. So is that like your big...
I was a pretty big pest.
Well, hey, it paid off, I see.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I got in. You know, I mean, I was
Mm-hmm.
severely rough around the edges, and
Right.
but you have to get in. You know, I mean, a lot of other guys I broke in at the same time. For all intents and purposes, really are in the same boat that they were, you know, 5 years ago, where, you know, for whatever reason, I was able to kind of, you know.
Yeah. Are there certain steps that you took that you would that you see that other people just haven't took, certain specific things you've done?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's any magic to what
Mm-hmm.
I did. I mean, I guess somewhere along the line talent has to come in, but I'm not really one for saying that I got that much talent. You know, I mean, I look at a lot of other guys' stuff and go, oh, these guys are better, 10 times better than I am. I don't know why the kids like just stop bugging me and look at their stuff. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they seem to be so loyal towards some of my stuff. I mean, I thank them,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes, I mean, I don't understand as much as anybody else. But one of the things is when you get into the business is that you got to have a good attitude. I mean,
Right.
You got a bad attitude, you're a dead man right there.
Uh-huh.
I don't care how, unless you're like super, super talented, then you can get away with being a dick.
Uh-huh.
But most guys, when they break in, aren't super, super, super talented. We're just starting to learn the ropes.
Right.
So some guys shoot themselves in the foot by having a bad attitude.
Expecting too much.
The word gets around, and all of a sudden they're not asking you to do work. So bango, you're out of the business there.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you've got a good attitude, you got to do the work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if you start missing deadlines, boom, that also gets around.
Yeah. So I take it...
Unreliable. If you're unreliable, they don't ask you to do any more work again.
Yeah.
You know? So, be a nice kid and get your work done. Once you get those things done, I mean, there's so many books coming out right now that, from an editorial point of view, you need somebody who can handle deadlines. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, would everybody love to have Neil Adams draw their books? Well, of course they would. But since he can't do it, they have to go get somebody else. And since, Art Adams can't do a lot of books, I mean, it's kind of a process of where they just kind of got to whittle everybody down so they finally find somebody that can handle a deadline. Now, if they can find somebody that can handle a deadline and they like their artwork, then you become an editor's wet dream at that point, because it's the only two things they ask for from you. Be good and fast, and there's not too many of them around.
Nope.
When they do find one of those guys, they tend to cling to them.
Yeah.
So I personally was able to just build a reputation on being fast, not good. Just because I was pretty crude, but because I stayed on Infinity for a couple of years, I mean, that proved something to somebody. So when I moved over to DC, or to Marvel from DC, I had the reputation that I could do a monthly comic book. That counts for a lot.
Yes.
And because when they're dealing with guys as egos and weenies and guys who can't get the work out, unfortunately, the guys who maybe aren't quite as good as drawers but can get the books out become somewhat of a useful commodity to the business. And that's what I ended up doing. Now, fortunately, over the years, because I was able to do monthly books and crank them out and get them out, hopefully, like any other occupation, the more you do, the more you learn about it. The more you learn about it, the more you improve at it.
Right.
So just through literally hours and hours and hours of drawing, I was able to improve on my drawing skills and storytelling and stuff. And as I was improving, for whatever reason, the kids ended up jumping on board and looking at it. Now, a lot of the things I started to work on were doing big dramatic poses, doing lots of detail and stuff, but that was stuff that I used to like when I was looking at comic books. John Byrne and Jack Kirby used to do these big two-page spreads, and George Perez did nice little details and stuff like that. So I go, I mean, I like their stuff, so there's no reason to believe why kids would like the same thing, I mean, all the things that make comic books cool are the same things that have made them cool for 50 years. So the guys that, do big giant bazooka guns and cool alien monsters and great, spaceships, they've always had a certain following in any era.
Right.
So, I mean, I just happen to basically be doing, I think, what's been done in the past. It's just that I put a 1990s look to it. I mean, that's about the only difference.
So describe your average reader, someone who would pick up a Todd McFarlane comic book and really be, maybe you could call it one of your average fans.
My average fan, is probably a little bit tougher to describe than other two because the audience
varies.
Was so big, you end up encompassing more people. You know what I mean? But my goal was always, and the toughest goal I think in comic books is not making the book so simple that it's only going to appeal to the 8-year-old kid.
Right.
And not trying to make it so kind of mature reader-ishy that it's only going to appeal to the 20 and older crowd. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of comic books end up going
either way,
one extreme or the other.
Right.
And I think that I have a lot of mass appeal just because I try to mix in both. In that the storytelling is still somewhat clear, and the story isn't quite so complicated that an 8-year-old kid or a 10-year-old, 12-year-old couldn't read it and go, cool, look at the pictures, and, and there's the bad guy and whatever else.
Right.
On another level, if I do a couple of subtle things that don't really matter whether the kids got it or not, you know. I mean, Bugs Bunny cartoons are like that.
Exactly.
And I give them some designy stuff, and I go out of my way maybe to do a perspective that really the average 8-year-old kid doesn't really care about the perspective being perfect or whatever, and I just kind of put that little extra effort on the artistic side of it. Then I give like the 20-year-old kid who still likes superhero comic books,
right,
something to look at and still feel good about superhero comic books. I mean, somebody who's gone beyond superhero comic books, I don't really think that I give them anything, you know, to be true. I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, what I'm trying to do is appeal to the kid that's like me, that's, you know, pushing 30, that still like superhero comic books. I mean,
and there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Bart Simpson too, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with fun entertainment of stuff that you've enjoyed for years and years and years. But well, I found that when I was collecting, even by the time I hit 22, I'd been at it for 5 years, that I started getting bored of certain things.
Right.
Because it was like, I've seen this book. I mean, it's been done that way 1,000 times. So I try to, again, just do something somewhat a little bit different than maybe what's happening, especially like in Spider-Man. I just try to make the book that I was doing, especially the new one, I try to make it different from all the other ones. You know what I mean? You know, I got a lot of flack from it from some people.
Yeah.
And a lot of it up from the office, but my attitude was, if you're going to come out with another Spider-Man book, so now you have 5 of them,
right,
including the Marvel Tales, why make it like the other 4? I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. So, like, why not try and make it somewhat unique? And then the people who don't like it
can read the mainstay.
There's still 4 others. There's not like a lack of Spider-Man product out there if they don't like mine. But if they like Spider-Man and they're looking for something a little bit different, just to kind of keep the spice of life going there, then I'll give them something that is a little bit different. So that was kind of a tough concept for a lot of people to understand.
Do you, so I take it you're an artist before a writer?
Pardon me?
I said, so I take it that you are an artist before you are a writer, or? Yeah.
I really consider myself to be, you know, a very intellectual,
prolific.
I mean, whatever. I mean, my stuff isn't very deep. I mean, in some respects it is, because I can give you like miles and miles of stories and stuff in the complexities of it from my mind. I just have a tough time to actually get it down on paper.
Yeah.
Now, on one hand, it can be argued that, well, why are they letting this guy write? And he might be influencing kids down the line, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I guess I never saw my job as being an educator.
No, it's entertainment.
Educate the public and say, well, you shouldn't be reading this garbage comic books. So why don't you go read this mature stuff that's real? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enough of those critics out there, and it's like, I mean, let the kids have their time. On the other hand, too, I don't really feel that it's my job. I mean, I should keep the words somewhat spelled correctly. And the sentences somewhat coherent, but whether I'm the next Shakespeare or not, I think really is irrelevant.
Right.
My duty is number one, to keep myself happy. If I keep myself happy, I'll turn out the best work, hopefully, that I can, and put it in the superhero comic books and make it somewhat entertaining for 20 minutes. That's it. I mean, that's it. And it seems to work so far, you know. I mean, comic books is not really a big deal. If I wanted to change the world, to do something that was going to be, you know, revolutionary, I wouldn't do it in comic books. I think there's bigger markets to do it at, you know.
Yeah.
Become a politician and try and change the world. So it's not for me to sit there and try and tell people that, you know, here's what we should be reading as comic books, as fine works of literature and art. I'm just trying to do a cool comic.
Do you collect comic books right now, still?
I don't have to. I get them for free. So.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever, like, you know, search out your favorite back issues, go to convention? Oh, I suppose if you're at a convention, you're signing autographs.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, yeah, that's what would end up being my hobby is now my job, and yeah, unfortunately, I've had to abandon that.
So, do you still read other people's stuff, like say the new X-Men or?
Not really.
No.
I read the sports page.
You just read the sports page.
Yeah. No, I look at everything. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm an artist, so I look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I know who's doing all the books and stuff like that. I mean, I read the odd page or something like that, but no, I don't. Part of it is I don't want to be
influenced.
Yeah, I mean, whether that's right or wrong, I don't want to. I don't want to start reading one guy's stuff and then start sounding like him or whatever. So
Yeah.
I just figured. I mean, my attitude, I figured out kind of drawing on my own. So, and it took me. I mean, when I broke into the business. And I wasn't very good. I mean, if you know about Coyote, then take a look at that stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at that stuff, but nobody seemed to care because I was a nobody.
Right.
And the tough thing that people seem to have a problem with right now is that they're dealing with two people. They're dealing with Todd McFarlane, the artist who's been around for a while and has made a reputation, and they're dealing with Todd McFarlane, the writer, who's pretty much basically an unknown kid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, if I had written the same stories at the same time that I was breaking into business, nobody would have cared. Unfortunately, I happen to be writing my first stories at a time when my artistic talents are at their
peak
somewhat. And so I've got, 100 times the audience that I had 5 years ago. So that makes 100 times the critics out there.
Uh-huh.
So, whatever. I mean, thick skin real fast. So.
Uh-huh. What kind of art schooling, if any, did you have?
I didn't. I got a degree in graphics, but it's got nothing to do with comic books.
Yeah.
I took a couple art classes per se, but
nothing really that could.
I find that when you go take art classes, they try to push you in a certain way of thinking.
Into theirs.
Plus, I don't really know what you do with an art degree, to tell you the truth.
Uh-huh.
You become an artist or you don't. I mean, you don't really need a degree for that. I hate to say it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I was going to hire somebody to do a comic book, I hired the guy with the best samples. I don't give a fuck if one guy went to Harvard or not.
Right, exactly.
And art's kind of like that. So what I usually tell people is I try to push them into graphics because graphics is more of a technical thing in that if you don't have the talent to be a comic book artist or writer or whatever, you can still get a background and still do diaper ads or stone ads or I mean something. It's a practical degree, you know what I mean? Go run a printing press or something like that. It's not very glorious work, but it's work.
Right.
And with a graphics degree, you could stand in line for a lot of jobs. And I mean, I think maybe if you look at my work, you'll see that I have probably a little more sense of design than some guys do. And part of it is because I got that degree in graphics. So.
Yeah. Is hold on here. I'm looking at. Is Spider-Man your favorite personal comic book character? Is he? I mean,
he was. I mean, I like I said, I started collecting late, so I didn't really have any favorites. And I don't. There's not really a character they can hang in front of my face, much to the frustration of them. Some guys they know once they know that you like this character. I mean, they can kind of toy with it, and play with it a little bit in front of it. But my attitude is I try to do the best job possible on any book that I'm on. And once you're on a book for a certain extended period, you tend to get into the character you're doing. I mean, because you know how instead of worrying about what his costume look like, now you can start to do body poses, or now you can worry about something else instead of well, how many notches does he have in his belt?
Right.
So, given that I was on him for so long, I was obviously more comfortable with Spider-Man than anybody else. But probably the same would have been said. I could say the same if I had done Iron Man for 4 years.
Right. So are we have anything looked forward to coming up from Todd McFarlane? Any projects in the works?
Yeah, okay, we should give you some, I guess. I've been playing Dad here for about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And whatever else. Now I got a new book coming out in May.
Oh, really?
But it's from a new company.
From Malibu?
Well, it's Image. Malibu's helping us print.
Right. Okay.
Image,
Uh-huh.
we got to make sure the kids don't get confused with that. No, we didn't go to Malibu. Malibu came to us.
I see.
We're the company. We're Image.
Okay, is this your company or?
No.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to own no company.
Right.
I want to prosper for my fellow creative people.
Uh-huh.
But what I do want to do is be able to lend my name and go there and get guys like Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee and use that power to get ourselves so that we can basically walk into any publisher and say, here we are, this is what we want. We own the copyrights, we own the character, we own the company for all intents and purposes, even though we don't own the company.
Uh-huh.
And if you guys want to print it and come along for the ride, then this is what we'll give you, not what you'll give us.
Right.
We'll give you. Take it or leave it. And because I happen to have maybe somewhat more clout than a lot of other guys,
Right.
Again, along with guys like Rob and Jim,
Uh-huh.
We can get a good deal that we can now give to everybody else.
Uh-huh.
So in other words, even a guy who might not be quite as popular gets the same deal that we get.
Uh-huh.
And they might not have ever been, well, probably might not have ever been able to get that, especially at this point in their career. But we're saying, hey, you come over to us, and there's no superstar deal, and then there's a beginner's deal, no problem. And it's a pretty good deal because it was good enough for the hot guys. I guarantee it's good enough for you guys.
Yeah. So do you like working with the smaller companies better than you do with the larger ones, particularly Marvel?
I haven't really had that much experience with the smaller one. Right now, Malibu would be my first experience with them. So I mean,
Uh-huh.
phone me back in a year and I'll tell you. But what I like is that I've got control of everything.
Right.
I don't have to put up with the corporate bullshit.
Red tape and whatnot.
I mean, and that's just it. Not even red tape, just weenie.
Policies.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? The way I do my book, I'm sort of the same. My mom could edit it and do a lot of the stuff on it. You know what I mean? So I don't really need anybody to put a finger into it, and they're always trying to put a finger into it.
Yeah. Get someone's name on it.
That's why when I did it, I had an editor called Jim Sauerkraut, and he was, I think, the best editor I've ever worked for, because he was either the smartest editor or the dumbest editor to say, well, Todd, that's what you want to do, that's what makes you feel good, go to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because his attitude was, if I was pumped, then I'd probably turn out better work than saying, no, we got to do this. Because once they start doing that, then they start destroying and wearing out what it is that they're hiring us for, and that's
right.
Creative. You know what I mean? So they want us to be creative, but then they start nipping away at us, and they start wearing away our creativity. So.
Uh-huh. Someone told me a rumor, and I guess you must get this all the time, but someone told me a rumor that you're doing some sort of NHL hockey books or something.
I was trying to get a license to do hockey cards, like a set of hockey cards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, we've got to put that one on hold. That was another tough red tape one, so.
Mm-hmm.
But we just had a meeting with, the owner of Tops, last week, so maybe we might end up getting it done, or the people at Upper Deck have expressed an interest in doing some cards.
That's pretty interesting. Do you ever foresee going back to Marvel?
I mean, never is a long time, but
right.
I don't see it. I mean, that's just me personally.
Right.
The other guys are on board, probably. I mean, they'll go back and forth. My attitude, I mean, I like challenges, and there's no challenge left really in Marvel or DC, other than to try and change the system and then to change it from the outside. So I got a million ideas, and I got a lot of confidence in my abilities that I can make a living somewhat doing something. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I've in some respects conquered as many hills as I can conquer.
Right.
So I mean, unless there's like a new challenge there. I don't really see it myself right now. I mean, but who knows? 2 years from now, maybe, like I said, I'll go back to begging on my hands and knees.
Uh-huh. So was your main reason for leaving Spider-Man the playing daddy, or was it something more?
No. Main reason was because I had the baby coming, and I was in a position that I could take time off and wouldn't suffer, and could devote some time to my wife and child. So, now the follow-up, has nothing to do with whether I got a baby or not. The
right.
Is a lot of things I've been discussing with a lot of my creative friends for like literally years and years and years. Just, you know, I always wanted to start a union, so this is basically a weenie kind of way, my way of starting a union. You know, if you don't get the top guys, and I keep getting, you know, every time you create a new superstar, I go in there and I give them a better deal than you can.
Right.
Down the line, something's going to have to change.
Yeah. So do you speak to the current superstars per se? You know, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, all those. Do they share any of your views on this sort of system? Because they seem to.
You know, again, when people ask me about, I go, the best thing to do is phone them. I don't want to speak for the company. Do you know what I'm saying? I can tell you kind of what Image is about on a kind of generic term. I can tell you whatever, and I can tell you why. We all did kind of leave because we do think that the system is wrong. Some of us feel a little more adamant about it than others, you know. For some, it's like, well, because they're getting T-shirts and not getting out of it. For others, it's because they're getting too much editorial guys sitting there changing the work behind their back. For me, it's just the whole 60 years of bullshit, you know. Ultimately, in a nutshell, what it amounts to for me, which is why I went after these guys, is all comic book companies survive on their names.
Right.
Pure and simple. In that, kids and my mom know who the Hulk and Spider-Man is.
Right.
But they never acknowledge that somebody created those characters, that actual human beings created those characters.
Right.
For the majority of those characters, probably 99% of those characters, the guy that did create them is not getting nothing for it.
Right.
You know, some of them are old, bitter, broken, poor men. And I just knew when I broke into business, I would never allow that. I would never allow. I mean, again, going back in history and drawing what I liked, I also try to stay away from some of the mistakes. So all the characters you'll see coming out from me in the next couple of years, I created those characters literally 8 to 10 years ago. And I've never pulled them out of my portfolio. So I mean, that, from my perspective, that tells a tale of and it somewhat begs the question of why did I never pull those out of my portfolio? Because I never felt, even as a schmuck, I never felt that the system was ever right for me to go out there and create something from whole cloth that I wouldn't have any rights to. Did I create some characters along the way? Well, yeah, when you're working with the writer and he goes, here's this new character, I mean, I have no control over that. New character, create it, you know what I mean? Okay, we need it for the book. I mean, what am I going to do, say no? But if you'll notice in the Spider-Man book that I was writing, you don't see any new characters in there.
No.
I couldn't have created 20 new characters?
No, I'm sure you could have.
But I mean, I knew a long time ago I'd never create anything. It's not for me, it's not that I'd never benefit from it, although that is part of it. It would turn out to be the next Mickey Mouse.
Right.
It's just that I don't want to create a character that 10 years from now they can use against you. You go in there and you go, the system's wrong, I'm going to quit drawing Telephone Man or something, and they'll go, Telephone Man's so popular, it's going to survive without you. And so they blow you off, but they never acknowledge that somebody maybe 10 years ago created Telephone Man. You know, that's like, so I won't create characters so they can use them against my fellow artists. Is where my thing.
So can you give some examples of how that's been? I mean, like.
How that's been? Well, name me the 5 biggest characters, and I'll tell you that all those guys are broken over.
I suppose you're right. Yeah. I suppose you're right. So how, would you say as a whole that the comic book industry has gone down, or has it always been down?
Gone down what?
I mean, in quality as far as how they treat, you know, you're talking about the bureaucracy and all that bullshit and everything like that.
I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I think that there's been steps upwards. I just don't think they've come as fast and as far as they should have come. And what ends up happening with your battling is, because it's been this way for 50 years, people have either A, accepted, or they don't know any better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like life on Mars might be better than on Earth, but because nobody lived there, a lot of people would be intimidated to leave Earth. So all I'm saying is, for people to leave Marvel and DC and to try and break the system, that to them is kind of foreign. They've always played in that, you know.
Right.
Some of the guys have been around for writing comic books for 30 years. I can't change those guys.
Right.
I can bend their ears as much as I want, and they'll never change because all they do is, well, this is how it's always been. It's been good enough for me, and then almost in some respects it should be good enough for you, Todd.
Right.
I don't agree with that assessment. You know, my attitude is, you know, if every baby that was born we poked out one of its eyes, the baby wouldn't die, and the baby would grow up and live a productive life and still be able to draw and play baseball, and they just would adapt. Every single person in the world would adapt to having one eye. No big deal. But does it make it right that we poked out their eye?
No.
So, I mean, why poke out their eye?
That's a unique analogy.
And see, so they say, well, it's always been that way. So they don't think that, yes, it's always been that way, but it's been wrong from the beginning. See, there's too many people that are accepting a wrong that's been done. They've lived with it for so long that it becomes just a part of life now. And but when I was up there, I was telling them, as of today, everything up to today, as far as I'm concerned, has been done wrong. I mean, in my mind, has been done wrong.
And just up until now, you haven't had the power to
do it.
make a
The
change.
only one way we're going to change you guys is not from within, because I've been banging my head. So thousands of guys have been banging their heads. And when we quit one at a time, they just blow us off.
Right.
You don't think that I couldn't quit and Marvel go, so what?
Uh-huh.
You know, I went to go play dad. He was always a freak anyways. And I quit, and then 2 years later, Jim Lee quit. So what? You know what I mean?
Right.
They've been doing it that way for 50 years. So I had to tell these guys, if we're going to quit, we got to quit, A, together, and B, when we're hot. There's the other thing, you know.
Right.
Kirby quit after he was hot. John Byrne trying to do this X-Men after he's hot. You know, Neil Adams quit after he was hot. You know, guys are always quitting after. I go, no, we got to send out a message. We got to quit in mass. That's never been done. And we've got to join together. That's never been done. And we've got to quit while we're at the top of our game. That's never been done. The only way we can cripple a company, that's even too strong of a word.
Yeah.
Send a message, there it is. Send a message to a corporation. I mean, I'm sure you haven't really been out there that long, is they only understand one thing, and that's dollars.
Right.
The only way we can send a message to them is to maybe make a dent in their pocketbook. And they'll make a moral decision based upon how much money they're winning or losing.
Yeah.
That's basically what it always comes down to.
Yep.
So, and if, I mean, they're not going to be able to get us back if we got such a great deal that they can't persuade us unless they change something. So, I mean, it's really the only way that it should have been done, and I'm surprised that nobody's done it in the past, you know. So, but the climate is also there too. That years ago it wasn't such a fan favorite type thing.
Right.
Our names carry a lot of clout now. So that when we move, we pull a lot of readers with us. I don't think company loyalty counts all that much.
No.
And then we'll have a big readership to look at our characters, so that when they say, oh yeah, Todd created Rutabaga Man, that now Rutabaga Man might go on to fame and fortune, and I guarantee it because I own the copyrights to it, and I won't ever sell Rutabaga Man. I probably won't shaft Todd McFarlane too much down the line.
No, I'm sure you wouldn't. But did you realize that this was the way it is when you broke in, or were you wide-eyed and?
Yep. I didn't really argue too much about it. I didn't get anything from merchandising and stuff. Some guys that really bugged, you know what I mean? They've made 1,000 T-shirts of mine. They've made 1,000 posters and stickers, and I mean, you name it. They've made.
Right.
Matter of fact, I haven't seen probably 50, 60, 70% of it. I mean, I just started losing track of it after a while. And I knew I would never get anything from it. My attitude's always been, man, they're going to throw a T-shirt out there that's actually free publicity for me.
Right.
Everybody knows it's a McFarlane T-shirt.
Right.
To the point that I can do what I'm doing today, and it matters. So even though they used me, I always knew that if I got into a big character, I could always, in a weenie kind of way, use them. I could use the corporation as much as the corporation's using me.
Yep.
Now I can go out there and it's like, wow, that hot Spider-Man artist, or that hot X-Men artist, or that hot Wolverine artist, whoever quits now can now use whatever it was that they were doing at the company. In a roundabout way. So what bugged me more than all the licensing stuff was, I mean, they never would consider giving us like a free copy of it, you know.
Really?
Acknowledge that you made some money off it and ask for like one extra copy so you could send it to us. That's beyond their thinking. And more than that, just on an editorial level, you got a bunch of boneheads up there. I mean, at both companies. I mean, I won't name names, but let's just say the majority of them are boneheads. You've got failed creative people and failed writers for the majority, or what those editors are up there, trying to tell us how to do comic books. Doesn't seem to make much sense, does it? The guy who can't do the job ends up being the teacher.
So, like some of the people who were once the creators now were probably not open to many new ideas, if any.
Oh yeah, no, not as a company person.
You
can't be. You gotta toe the line. So status quo.
Yep.
If you follow what the company tells you, there will never be change. Change only comes when a guy somewhere along the line says, fuck no. You know what I mean? I think that you can make a car that doesn't have a roof that's called a convertible. Oh, no, and they do it, you know?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, and that's it. A guy who breaks away, I mean, because that thinking, unfortunately, does not come from within the company. It usually comes from certain creative individuals, you know, that are working for the company. They either just push and push the idea through and have to really work it, or they go out and do it on their own. You know? And the thing is, I guess, we just get tired of pushing stuff through. You know, I mean, they're basing their ideas of what makes a good comic book on like 1960 stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't sit there and look. I mean, as stupid as it is, they don't look at what's your top 3 selling comic books. Wouldn't want to use those as examples now, would we?
No.
You know? Wouldn't want to use the ones that are actually fucking selling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be like a car company taking the 3 biggest selling cars, but when they go and do a new car, not using any of that information from those 3 cars to make their next car.
It's like shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, like, I mean, if those cars are selling, there's got to be something about those that makes those cars sellers. You guys aren't tapping into any of that. You guys don't care that these guys are, it's like, oh, well, they're doing it a different way, but that's just because they're a fluke or a freak or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and this is how comic books are, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you just get...
They won't do it because it's never been done. Well, you've offered a lot of interesting insight on something that I've probably been blind to, you know, whether I've known anything or not, and so, you know...
Well, a lot of it, people will continue to be blind to, because we're not going out of our way to tell people that Marvel and DC are dicks.
Right.
What you're going to hear from us is, Image comic books are the greatest. We're not out here to badmouth anybody. We're out there to say, hey, we got some good product to sell you. Kids don't need to get caught up really in the politics of it. You know what I mean? It's more of, a lot of what we're doing is going to be more beneficial, not so much to the readers, because they're still getting superhero comic books from us. It's going to be more beneficial to the actual creative people themselves. The guys that are turning it out will now benefit a lot more than they are benefiting now. So, I mean, and hopefully the trickle down to you and the other readers is that if we're benefiting more and we're happier, we'll turn out a better product for you. And if we turn out a better product, then that's what it's all about.
Well, hopefully we'll see a new breed of maybe discerning readers who may maybe have some insight on this. And
I think that what we'll all see is that the companies don't really treat the readers with very much respect. I mean, they don't treat us with respect. So you can imagine how much respect that you guys get from them.
Yeah.
Is they think you guys are boneheads, and that you guys will buy whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just because it's this character or that character, and to a certain extent, it's true. I mean, I used to collect. I mean, if I had the first 200 issues, I'd keep buying it too. But if we turn out a good product too, I mean, at some point you can only fool the reader so much, you know. After a while they go, oh, so this book has turned shit in the last year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, why am I wasting my money on it? I'm going to go and buy this. I still might keep my collection going, but I'm not going to buy double. I'm not going to buy the annuals, you know.
Yeah. Trickle off.
Yeah, so, I mean, who knows? I mean, like I said, hopefully they can replace all of us with good guys, but if they do, I'm telling you right now, within a year, I'll get them over to our company. That's okay. I don't mind them making some more superstars, because I'll take them.
Yeah, it can only help you, I guess, and them, and the creators.
Yep. Yeah, and then somewhere down the line, if I rape and pillage them enough, then they're going to have to say,
hey, we can start our own.
We've got to change the system, otherwise Todd and Image are going to get every single guy we ever create.
Uh-huh.
So we better make these guys happier. How can we make them happier? I don't know what the answer is, but they're going to have to change a couple of rules. And if they change even one rule, me personally, Todd McFarlane, will have succeeded in what I wanted to do, and that's to change the system somewhat.
So do you foresee this renaissance happening in your lifetime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have to happen because it comes down to dollars and cents right now.
Right.
I mean, like I said, we had a meeting with Tops. They want to put out cards right now. All the comic books. All the card companies want to put out comic books now because they see they can make some money and they want to keep all the stores in business. But I mean, I told the guys at Tops, the owner and the other guys, I mean, hey guys, I mean, they make $300 million a year. Thank you very much. But you want to know what? Unless you guys do something with us, I wish you the best of luck at suicide going out there on your own. Because if you don't get us, and you don't get the guys that work for Marvel, and you guys don't get the guys that work for DC, you're going to get like the 5th or 6th generation best artists. Those guys are not going to put a hell of a lot of money in your pocket, you know what I mean? I mean, the readers are smart enough to know, who the top guys are. There's not a finite amount of talent out there. I mean, there is a finite amount of good talent, I mean, you're sitting there, and it's like there's 300 good artists. There's only like 12. So, and if you don't get any of the 12, and you don't get any of the 12 writers, and you've got a no-name company and a no-name character, a no-name creator,
right.
Well, I wish you the best.
Are you getting a dead end?
Marvel or DC just put a new line called Impact.
Huh?
Ouch. I mean, you're going to see a bunch of Impact lines out there. And I mean,
yeah.
It gives you odds on how long Impact lasts.
Yeah, well, could you hold on for just a second? Yep. Thanks. I'm sorry about that. Well, thank you very much. This is great. I mean, is there any final comment or anything you'd just like to add for this newspaper article?
Yeah, if you're looking for a new image, we've got it. Please come join us. The only thing is, we're not trying to sell you an art product. We're not trying to do whatever. All we're saying is buy what you like and buy like some of the quality stuff, and I think that we'll be able to give you a little bit of both. And we'll be able to deliver you the names and whatever else. I mean, that's it. I mean, we're not out there to shut down Marvel or DC.
Right.
We're just out there to give you some good product.
Well, this has been great. I'm sure this is going to make for a great article. And I just one final thing. Our newspaper we print maybe 600 or 700 copies.
Yeah.
Maybe up to 1,000. Okay. But we were just wondering if at all possible that we could get something for maybe our cover of probably our senior edition of our comic book, possibly one of your characters, or just anything would be great that we could just kind of have, because this interview will probably be just like an expose type thing. Not many important things happen in Revere High School in Akron, Ohio. But I was just wondering if something like that would be possible.
When are you going to print it?
We have until our senior edition probably doesn't come out until late May or June. So,
well, if you want something, I could send you some of Spider-Man, or I could send you something from this new book that I'm doing.
See, the thing is with Spider-Man, though, if we print that, I think we might have to get a Marvel permission to print any Spider-Man.
Yeah, you just put a copyright 1992 Marvel Comics Entertainment here and now.
Okay, or if you'd like, you could give us maybe something for your Image Comics, that free advertising or whatever.
Okay.
But any scribble, anything would be fine. But this is like a big project here, and
you got okay. What's your address there?
Oh, yeah, was going to give you my address.
Well, why don't you do this?
Right.
Why don't you write me a letter?
Okay.
Because I've got a couple of things going on. We just closed a house deal. We're going to be moving down to Portland here. And so by the time I get that, because I got 1,000 things going here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll end up losing. But as soon as I get the mail, I'll open it up, and then I'll make sure I take care of it that day.
Okay.
That'd be better, because otherwise, if I write it down now with all the things I got going right now, I'll end up losing it.
Okay.
So just write me a letter, and put the address on there, and when I get that, I'll make the copies, and I'll basically ship it back in the mail that day.
Okay, great. So what's the address?
1470 Canada.
Okay.
And the zip code is Z9L4T6.
Z9L4T6.
Yeah, Victor 9 Lima 4 Thomas 6.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. McFarlane. You'll be expecting a letter from me any day now.
Okey-doke.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know how many other famous names would do something like this, but I really appreciate it.
Bud, I'm just like you. I just happen to sell a bunch of comic books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one nice thing about doing comic books is, other than you do a couple of shows, I still do the same thing I did when I was a schmuck. Still get up, go down in my room and draw. The only difference is the phone rings a little more often than it used to. So, I mean, it's, and I live on an island now, so it doesn't, I kind of keep myself away from it so the head doesn't get too big. If I was in LA or New York, I might be more of an asshole, but,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
You seem like
I used to be you. You know what I mean?
Am I a schmuck?
Pardon me?
Are you calling me a schmuck?
No, I'm saying a schmuck. My early work was a schmuck.
Oh, okay.
When I say schmuck now, it's like on Trinity, I was like a schmuck guy. But I used to be you. I used to be
Average Joe reader.
comic books and trying to break into comics and stuff. So, I mean, I know what it's like to be on the other side of the table. And the one thing I always said when I was on the other side of the table, that I dealt with too many assholes and I dealt with too many nice guys, and I chose to pattern myself after the nice guys. And I think one of the problems is that people forget they used to be on the other side of the desk, you know what I mean? When they're signing the comic books, see, I still squeeze the toothpaste in the middle like you do. You know, and unfortunately, some guys really
Milk it.
I'll tell you the truth. You know what I mean? I couldn't wait for Jim Lee to get good and fast, because I go, Jimmy, here, take over the number 1 slot, because it's not such a goddamn big deal. Matter of fact, it's a burden more than anything else. So it's like, I'll settle in there at the number 10 slot and be happier. So, yeah, it's not what it's cracked out to be, although you can't tell that to people till they get there. But
I guess they'll be like, well, what are you, ungrateful or something?
Pardon me? Yeah, well, all they see is the glitz, you know what I mean? You're doing interviews, you get free travel, you get to go on TV, making videos,
People magazine.
Whatever, whatever. You know, I mean, once you do your first TV show, like I said, it's the first TV show that's cool. First comic book, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I said, I can remember my first comic book coming out. I mean, I was, like I said, now, you know, I mean.
It's all the same.
Yeah, you know.
It's a job.
The most comic book this month, though, Spider-Man number 8. Okay, next month, Spider-Man number 9. I mean, what's the worst I can do is tie for first, you know? So it's like, man, I need a challenge. So best way to do it is leave for 4 or 5 months and then all of a sudden try to come back and see if you can do it again, and then or start a new company or something. I need the thrill of the hunt, not so much the kill. So I think that's a big deal for me.
Yep. Do you do many?
Thanks for the phone call, Bud, and I hope it goes over good for you. And like I said, when I get that letter from you, then I'll make sure that I get that on.
Okay. And one final question. This is for a friend of mine. If you are you open to any new artists or anything like that? A friend of mine's just getting out of art school.
Yeah.
And
good.
Yeah, I'd say.
Although on the other, to tell you the truth, on the other hand, if he's that good,
You're not gonna promise anything.
Sit down and talk to him and say, if you're good enough to work for us, we'll take you, but you might be better off going and working for Marvel and DC, letting them put you on Batman, Spider-Man, Wolverine, getting a bit of a reputation, and then we'll come with you. Because at that point, you'll carry a lot more readers with you.
Right.
it'd be better for you personally.
It'll also help your cause.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, do you know who Dale Keown is?
Oh, sure, Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've talked to him. He's doing a pinup for me in issue #1 and stuff, and and we could practically get him too.
Uh-huh.
You know, he'd do a book for us, but you know, I'm going, Dale. I mean, because everybody's quitting the X-Men office, somebody's got to take over the X-Men. So they've been phoning him to do some mutant stuff.
Who's
The mutants.
How many people are quitting the X-Men?
Well, Wolf Portacio and Mark Silvestri.
Oh, really? On Wolverine?
Jim Lee and Rob. I mean, there's 4 of their books out the door.
So where are they going?
Image.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great news.
Yeah, well, yeah, all the big boys are coming up. So, but what I'm saying is Dale's a big guy, but, I mean, the Hulk's kind of a tough sell sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So I go, Dale, quit the fucking Hulk. Go do X-Men for a year. Let them make you the golden boy.
Right.
Dale Keown, and then after
And then hasta la vista.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you, bud. You create a character, and you become the biggest news in 1993. We got Dale Keown.
That sounds great.
Jim Lee,
I like his stuff. I like Dale Keown's stuff.
Oh, fuck, I love it, too.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I told him, I go, it's up to you. We'll take you now. You know, it's just that now we might be only guarantee you this many sales, but it doesn't hurt by going doing. It won't hurt you to go do the X-Men.
Right. It'll only help.
Better money than you're making now. You're gonna make a lot better audience, and they're gonna treat you a hell of a lot better. But I guarantee you do one pinup for me, bud. One pinup.
Uh-huh.
They'll treat you good because they're already losing all this.
Yeah, they're seeing their big bucks flying out the window.
And, well, they know you know us, and that will be enough to give you, like, they'll treat you different because they'll know, ooh, we lost these other guys. Ooh, he's done pinups for him.
Uh-huh.
This band of bandits. So
Right.
we better, like, make sure that we're nice to Dale. So they'll treat.
Yes. Mr. McFarlane?
Yep.
Hi, this is Matthew Weiss. I interviewed you a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Hi, I was just wondering if I could just kind of consolidate some of the facts I had from that interview.
Okay.
First of all, I just, I was going back and listening to it, and I was just interested. I can print the name. I didn't even get the name of the new book that you're coming out with.
Spawn.
Spawn. Okay. That was one thing. And okay, here. Now you like kind of mentioned in passing some of the big names leaving the X-Men and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Is that for sure, or is that?
Yep.
Yep. So Rob and Jim and all the other guys are definitely leaving.
Uh-huh.
Do you know like what their last or how soon or?
No.
No.
No, I don't know that. It depends on when their books are coming out with us. Will depend on how long they're going to stay on. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All I know is they're leaving. So I mean, the actual numbers. I don't even tell you the truth. I don't even know what numbers.
Right.
They're up to right now.
Uh-huh.
On the newsstand. So.
Yeah. Okay, and I just quickly, I mean, you're talking about the bigger names. So what do you think about, like, say, Dark Horse or Valiant? Some of the other ones, some of those.
What do I think of them? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, have you had any working dealings with any of them, or did you think? I mean, because I mean, you say how the bigger companies have their problems.
Uh-huh.
I mean, do you think this is a good thing? I mean, like, say, Dark Horses. Number 3 in the runnings, they say. So,
Yep.
do you, I mean, really, I just, what you think about them.
No, actually, I know the boys there. I'm going to be moving down to Portland, which is where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a good working relationship. The only thing I didn't want with the Dark Horse was we wanted to own everything. And because they have successful books, I thought there might have been a bit of a conflict of interest down the line.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've got 2 hours left at the end of the day. You can either finish your Aliens poster or you can get my poster out. Which one are you going to do? Well, because you're only making a fraction off my book of what you would make off Aliens, somebody has to make a call. And why do I think I'd make the same call? I'm not saying that it's bad.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying that the best way to stay away from that was for us to just go out there and form our own company.
Right.
And then just farm out the work. So we just started our own company, and then we went around looking, and Malibu said that they'd basically do some of the Joe work for us or
right.
whatever. And plus they're a little bit smaller company, so they have everything to gain by helping us and nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Really. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're a bigger company. Like I said, Dark Horse is already established. So it was. We just felt we're better to go off with kind of like a young, upstart, hungry company than somebody that's doing a good job already. And it wouldn't really be fair to Mike and the guys at the Dark Horse. Now we've talked to them. We're gonna do crossovers with them.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. We're not gonna be enemies with anybody. Quite the opposite. We're gonna.
Right.
Hopefully do Spawn and Predator crossovers and things like that.
That's cool.
Get things that are out there that'll be exciting for the comic book field, And do, Jim Lee's book versus the aliens or something.
Right.
Actually, as a matter of fact, Jim's book has a little bit of aliens in his book, not what you would think, but like human aliens,
Uh-huh.
It'd be an easy thing maybe for him to do something with the actual aliens. On a search for the actual human aliens, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
We've talked to the people at Valiant. We'll probably be doing something with them and the people at Mirage. We're eager to do something with everybody, Marvel and DC included. It's just that, you can phone up Dark Horse and say, let's do something, and we can get a deal put together in 2 days where we wanted to do something with Marvel. Or DC, it might take like 4 months,
Uh-huh.
because they got to run it through their red tape.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the meantime, we're going to be successful with or without them. So we got to basically prove to people that we can do it on our own and show people that it's to their advantage to do crossovers with us.
Right.
So Marvel and DC and Dark Horse are there, but you give us 1 year and. Hopefully we'll bump one of those guys down a peg.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we shouldn't be selling a couple million units by the end of the first year.
Right.
Basically more than DC selling right now. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Because I'm just about done transcribing and typing and whatever on the word processor here.
Uh-huh.
So this issue should be out. I've got your letter sitting right next to me here on a school letterhead. So I'm just gonna send that off to you, and the thing's gonna be printed a little bit earlier than I thought.
Yeah.
But whatever, just when you get the letter, you can go from there.
Okay.
But thanks again. And my friend, the artist guy I was telling you about, is getting a portfolio together to send to you. So you might be interested in that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Go to it.
Bye.